Our greatest enemy is that we keep waiting for someone to give us a shot. And if you haven't had enough shots, you're just failing under their watchful eye.
Joston, we had this comment come in from one of our viewers, and it reads, "Guys, I'm so scared. There are a certain amount of movies I want to create, and I figured the best route to start would be with screenwriting, but I just wish I had a guide or something for the journey. It seems like people really spend years doing so much work and only have results after like a decade. I'm not sure if I want to be a screenwriter, but I do know that I have movies I want made. Help. What advice can y'all give me?" So...
Wow. Pictures that he wants to get made, but not quite sure how to go about it, and doesn't want to spend decades doing something he doesn't love, or she doing stuff they don't love in order to make that happen. I would say pick a discipline and know that that's your focus, and just start making stuff. Just start making stuff. I think everybody gets so caught up in all the reasons why they can't do something, they never think about why they can. And I don't know what that is about us as artists that makes that thought pop into your head. But whenever I do something, my wife will tell you, I tell you 1,001 reasons why we'll succeed. And you'll have to tell me all the reasons why we can't, and I'll tell you every reason why I can overcome that too. That's really what it's about. Get out there and make it happen. Just get out there and make it happen. If you know that screenwriting isn't where you want to be, see if you can get somebody who is a screenwriter to do that part of it. And then you just get out there and you make it. I don't know what it is this person was trying what discipline they were trying to work in, whether it was producing, directing, writing, acting, I don't know. But whatever it is, know that that's your main thing. And the pieces that you don't want to concern yourself with in terms of learning how to do it and becoming very proficient in it, I would say piecemeal that out. Like, get someone else who is just as eager to create something as yourself and say, let's create this together. You handle that part, I'll handle these parts. And just do it that way and just get to creating. Just start creating stuff.
Have you always had that belief in yourself? Where you can think of all these reasons why you will succeed?
No, I don't think I've always had that. I think that I've always been by myself, wanting people to include me in something. And I went through my life with that until one day I no longer cared what everybody else was thinking or doing or willing to accept me. And that's what was able to help me become more and more successful, because I realized I'm the only difference between possible and impossible. That's really it. I am. So if that is the truth, then I don't really need any of these other people. I don't need their approval. I don't need their guidance. I don't need anything. I can go over here and start making my own mistakes. When I speak to someone else, I want to learn from their mistakes. That's what I want to learn from. Whatever advice you have, it came from your mistakes. I want to know about your mistakes. If you have something to share, if you don't, just don't stand in my way, because the train is moving this direction. If you stand there, I'll run you over, because this is where I'm going. So I don't really need any of it. I came to a realization that when I made Adam K, if you look at it, I had to make up credits because I didn't want to look like I did everything, but I did everything. It was me and my wife. She handled holding the boom pole. She did makeup. She did special effects. She handled catering. And I handled everything else, and it was the two of us making a movie. And we made it for $1,500. And everybody thinks we spent a crap load more than that, but nope, that's all we spent. And it was proof. I don't need a bunch of people to make that happen, and neither does anyone else. Sit down, take a camera or camera phone or something and start shooting something.
Was there a specific incident or something that happened that made you realize, I don't need the group? That you're willing to share?
No, I mean, I think more than anything, it was the constant disappointment, because when you're starting out and you don't have very much money, you you start to see who will work with you for very little money, right? So their incentive is only that very little money. That's it. It's not the passion. It's not growing with you. It's not any of that stuff. They have no investment in your journey or theirs whatsoever. They want that $50 or $100 that you could pay them. And guess what happens? If somebody else comes along and says they'll give them $200, they will be off your set and you will be there by yourself. And that happened to me, numerous times. Numerous times where people would just bail. I was shooting something, a short film, and they just bail and that's it. Or they don't show up. And you're like, what is this, you know? And so I went into Adam K and I wanted to see, can I shoot this myself? I shot another film called Bleed for Me. And I shot that one completely by myself. That one was me taking the boom pole and propping it up in a corner so that it would capture audio. And then I would shoot with the camera and I would be setting up the lights and I would order food and bring it over, you know. I literally shot Bleed for Me by myself and edited it, you know. But it was because so many people that I brought aboard just flaked and flaked and flaked. And I began to realize I don't need any of these people, actually. I mean, it's good to have them around, you know, it lightens the load a bit, but I don't need them. And so once I really realized that my only reason for bringing someone on board, if I have the money to pay them well, the reason why you're on this project is because you do something better than I could myself. And you truly do lighten the load. But if it's something that I realize that at any point that I'm just better off doing it myself, I will. I'll just do it myself because it's better off that way.
How does someone maximize their chances for breaking in Hollywood, whatever breaking in is?
In the shortest answer, the same way you can increase your odds of winning a boxing match. Throw a whole lot of punches. Now, does that mean you'll win? No, it just gives you a puncher's chance, right? So if you just keep taking your shot, eventually something will land, hopefully. Now, if you're looking at a more skillful way to get there and to continue to work, I say perfect your craft and constantly take opportunities to get more experience and to be helpful, to put yourself in a position to better utilize those muscles and those strengths of yours and make those weaknesses no longer a weakness, make them an advantage. You know, start to do that so that you become not only better at the craft, but you can navigate the system a little bit better because that is more helpful. But I think those are the ways you increase your odds as well in a more calculated way. And I tell people too, I tell this to actors, I tell this to writers, I tell it to anybody. Keep creating your own content. Keep creating. Because even though no one's gonna come looking, just odds, nobody's gonna come looking at your web series and saying, that needs to be on NBC. That's not really happening. But what it does, it allows you to grow. It allows you to do what most people would do in a film school, which is you get to fail and fail and fail and fail until you're no longer failing, right? Our greatest enemy is that we keep waiting for someone to give us a shot. And if you haven't had enough shots, you're just failing under their watchful eye. That's all you're doing. So why not do that on your own? You know, just shoot some stuff, get more experience, work through your strengths, understand what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and begin to work through those things and make those, you know, your advantages as well, and just become all around a great technician in your craft, as well as a great creative in your craft.